And I don't think any shelf mushrooms are poisonous. I think they're not all
they're not all
choice, but you're not gonna die collecting shelf mushrooms.
I think there was a moment in my mind where I was picturing we were gonna like take scissors and snorkels and we're gonna swim around and clip eelgrass leaves off of plants.
We want to be bear aware. We probably won't see any, but it is Beartown Mountain.
I was so excited to hear that anybody wanted to make something out of eelgrass.
This is one of the most difficult places to reach on any lands that we manage. I got a little bit of a smile on my face because I was really excited to be able to take anyone that would join me up to the top of the mountain and see how difficult it was to get there, experience what it was like to get a crew up to do the restoration, and sweat a little bit with me to really earn making this beer.
I was a little worried that it might put some people off in terms of taste, but I was super excited, and I'm still really thrilled that we're doing it.
And not that I'm in any way a beer expert, but I do like to drink beer, and I like lots of different kinds of beer. So this is really fantastic.
But basically we're doing something kind of that's inspired by like Scandinavian or Norwegian farmhouse beer.
Hey, I know this is gonna sound crazy. I really want to make a beer using this crazy longleaf pine. Do you think that's possible? Using pine seems like it'd be crazy until you say, well, what's the flavor profile of longleaf pine? Like, is it straight pine? Is it sweet kind of autumnal Yankee Candle pine? Is it grapefruit citrus pithy pine?
What we're trying to do is like embrace the salinity. So the style we picked is a Goza. So the idea is to kind of like let that minerality, let that like sort of like subtle sea flavor come through.
Honestly, like saisons, grisettes are kind of my jam. Spruce can kind of give you a bunch of different flavor characteristics. I mean, you can get anywhere from super bright, like lemon oil, really strong citrus notes. You can get really, really resiny, like kind of piney characteristic. But you can also get things like licorice.
I think I was expecting like a seaweed, but it reminds me almost of like parsley or like a really mild shiso or something.
Chanterelles have a really amazing meaty texture.
They've got like a really robust kind of earthy profile, and it's like a little bit funky.
This is an imperiled species. We're wanting to be really, really sensitive about each individual tree. We're really only taking these very light green new growth tips, and at that I'm wanting to make sure I take them sparsely.
They also grow kind of as just a broadcast across the forest floor. They have a symbiotic relationship with the tree roots.
We obviously don't want to break anything and we want to be good stewards, and I think as we saw it, it became abundantly obvious that due to the work that's been done, these eelgrass meadows are like doing very well. We took a large net and we dragged it through the water and then put that right here on the top of the boat.
And one thing led to another, and I'm on a gator with Bobby Clance, and the little babies and Jen are with me, and we're barreling through the Piney Grove Preserve and looking at woodpeckers.
The Clinch Mountain Corridor is a extremely important area for climate migration, for a variety of species to be able to move to more suitable habitats under a changing climate into the future.
The Nature Conservancy's work over the past 52 years is really what set the stage for this to be able to be a successful project, to be able to be the largest successful seagrass restoration project in the world.
Piney Grove Preserve is currently at 4,000 acres. You have a lot of plants, a lot of structure, and it provides cover for things like bobwhite to run and move through this, protected somewhat from predators.
Eelgrass is important for habitat for a lot of the creatures that we like to eat and fish for. It helps hold sediment in place and protect our shorelines against erosion. It helps to store a lot of carbon to protect against increasing greenhouse gases.
This part of the Central Appalachians is known as a hotspot for biodiversity. Biodiversity really is key when we think about forest health in the face of climate change. I fell in love with this mountain. I fell in love with being able to work at this really large scale and take the work that we do here on the mountain and export it and scale it up across the Central Appalachians.
We are sitting on the beach at the south end of Cobb Island, one of 14 barrier islands that the Nature Conservancy owns. I grew up here, spent a lot of time in the water over there and a lot of time in the water out here on the seaside on these islands. My grandmother grew up in the same area. You know, the eelgrass here on the seaside disappeared when she was a teenager, you know, in 1932 or 33.
There are things all throughout the year that excite me. Flowering stems of all these grasses coming up, orchids blooming in this understory, and there's always something to appreciate.
You can see what probably is this tree's parent. A gorgeous, mature, overstory red spruce that is generating tens and tens of thousands of cones and throwing those all over the forest floor for the next generation. That's the goal.
I really see beer as being this vehicle to kind of reconnect people with things that maybe we've lost touch with otherwise. It's not hard to get people to try somebody to try a beer.
But I've never had to hike and go through ATVs and everything like that to pick the amount of spruce that we picked. But I would do it again next year for sure.
Oh, I'm super excited to have, you know, 4 of our biggest landscapes in Virginia all represented here, giving me an excuse to try at least 4 beers.
The more that I feel like local craft breweries can make local beer, the better the whole planet's going to be.
How you feeling?
All right, camera speed.
There's a trail name built into that somewhere.
Twisted ankle saison.
Swollen ankle.
Scratchy throat saison.
I didn't even.
Hey, we're going to go back down to the Piney Grove Preserve, and because they were on the Gators with us, you know. And she was like, is Mr. Bobby the one that isn't afraid of spiders? And I was like, yes, that's the guy. So for me, Loblolly was actually much more almost household cleanery. Almost, I had a little bit of that like Pine Sol sort of, you know, spray cleaner.
What would your grandmother? She would hate it. she'd go have a bottle of sherry or something. She wouldn't. A lady like that would never drink beer.
Hey Laurel, what's the flavor profile of a chanterelle?
I would say that like it's a much more mild mushroom flavor than something you'd get in the store.
Okay.
And that it just has this really incredibly good texture. And there's also like a little bit of a slightly fruity component, like earthy fruity.
Thanks. Now watch me butcher that.
I'm staying away from all mushrooms because I would eat one and just end up dead.
Well, the good